Hey, welcome to A Talk with Mom, and I'm so excited. I have my first real non-family guest, Cait, who I call Cait the Great. Cait
Thank you.
is from Clear the Chaos Organizing. Cait branched out on her own. Gosh, what has it been now? Has it been a couple of years or just
Close to
even
2 years. September
close
will be
to
2
2 years?
years.
Wow. So tell us about your vision, Cait, and how you ended up doing what you're doing.
Well, I just kind of found that being a busy mom and having so many things on your plate that it's really hard for people to get to organizing. Or when you're doing a big organizing project, and I'm talking like we're going to organize your garage. So you're going to take everything out of your garage, see what you need, see what you don't need, and put it back in. Well, it's super hard to do that if you have kids around.
Oh,
First
yeah,
of
that's a
all,
good point.
you pull everything out and you get overwhelmed. Or if you have kids around or you're busy, you don't have a whole day to dedicate to it. So I thought, what's a way that people can buy their time back? And myself, my own personal story, my husband works out of town and my parents live 10 hours from where I am. So I have the resources or the financial resources to get help, but not the help I needed. Like I didn't need a daycare. I didn't need a chef. I was like, I need somebody who can come in and organize for me. So it was kind of a case of create what you wished existed. And then I'd had a couple friends come to my house and they would always comment like, how are you doing so much? Like you're always out doing stuff and you're hiking and you and your daughter are out, but your husband works out of town and you don't have a lot of family help here. And I just started to say well, I'm really organized. I don't have a choice, so I have to be really organized. So I'm super organized. And they'd look around my house and then they'd say, can you come do this at my house? So I did. I organized a couple people for a bottle of wine. And then my husband was like,
Hey.
yeah, my husband was like, Kay, we're not doing this for a bottle of wine anymore. More and more people, every weekend a friend is asking you to do this. So turn it into a business. So then it became a business.
My gosh, I think that is so fantastic. And I know how we met. I originally was looking to move from our old house to our new house, but we had to move into temporary storage for a little while and then think about what I needed in the meantime and then have it unpacked a month later. And I was like, oh my God, am I even going to start this?
Where do I even begin?
And I remember calling you and going, okay, this is sort of the scenario. Are you good with this? And you were just like, yeah, absolutely. But I have to say, Cait is the fastest worker I have ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
There's something that it's just a lesson I've learned in life is that there's people who love to do anything you hate.
Yes, exactly.
There really are.
Exactly. There is. Lots of people don't want to spend a weekend organizing their garage. I'll wake up regularly and be like, let's go organize something.
Oh my God, how I respect that. It's just awesome. And I think having an organized life is just a breakthrough thing. Like I know when I go and I finally clean whatever it is. Well, first of all, it takes a lot less time than I expect.
Than you expect.
Yes. Second of all, just that sense of relief. So tell me a little bit. Have you ever delved in to figure out what are some of the mental health benefits of decluttering and getting organized?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think a thing that people don't realize, often too, when you're younger, you think of getting lots of things and getting a bigger hut. Every item that you bring into your home or you own requires energy from you. It's energy to store it. It's energy to buy it. It's energy to bring it in your home. It's energy to store it. Then it's energy to dust it and move it around. And then eventually energy to part with. So all of these things eventually are just kind of zapping your energy from you when you have a house that's cluttered, filled with stuff that you don't necessarily need. So a way to buy your time back and kind of buy your energy back is to just have stuff that's purposeful to you or meaningful or sentimental items. I'm not the sort of organizer that thinks, oh, get rid of everything, live minimalist. My home isn't minimalist. But it's just good to be aware of how it's affecting your mental health when you have all of this stuff that you do have to care for, because it's not just acquiring it, then you have to care for it as well. And I've noticed when I go and I declutter people, it really kicks them off in the right foot, the right direction. I did this one guy's garage and it was filled with stuff that'd been in there 10, 15 years. We got it all cleared out. I went back to pick up the next load of donations and he's up cleaning his gutters and he's spraying. He's like, I've never felt more motivated to get things going. And he actually lives in my neighborhood. So a couple weeks I drive by later, he's painting the house. It really can You don't realize how it's weighing you down until you
Yeah.
free yourself of it and how much better you feel.
It lifts a burden. One time, like I follow Cait on Instagram, and if you don't already, you got to look for her for Clear the Chaos. It's fantastic because she shares so much information. But one of the things you said to me that I absolutely loved was, well, I said to all of your fans, was clutter is just delayed decisions.
It really is. It's just stuff that we've put off that we don't want to deal with. I find that some of the biggest roadblocks for people getting rid of things are it's either sentimental items or the guilt of it. Like someone
Right.
else has given them this item and now they feel like they can't part with it. But if it's not necessarily an item that's serving you any purpose, you're just kind of holding on to it and taking a space where you could have something that's actually useful to you. So kind of
That's
like,
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I know now I can be fickle when it comes to like fashion and shoes. I don't spend a lot of money on it, but I kind of like to have whatever is like new or great or fresh. And then whatever I had before, I don't like it anymore and I won't go back. I mean, I'll still like it, but I won't wear it because I want
you
to
know,
wear what,
you want to wear
whenever
something
the new
new.
But then it's not worn out. And it's not totally donate in my mind because it's still worth some money. So it accumulates and accumulates. And I
Yeah,
don't
it's
really want to
accumulating.
go through Facebook Marketplace.
Then
And
you're
then
dealing with a bunch of,
eventually I end up taking it to Value Village,
yeah.
donating it when I finally just have to go, okay. But there's a
Okay.
period where it accumulates. Give me some advice, Cait. Help me with my
Well,
shoe problem.
well, after we get off this podcast, I'm going to set you up with my excellent consignment girl because consigning clothes is great. And there's a lot of people who do it nowadays and they have Instagram pages and they're very easy to work with. Like you just leave the clothing outside, they come and they pick it up at your door, bring it, it's all posted, and then you get usually the split, don't quote me, it's 60-40, but they keep some and you keep a little bit and then it goes towards, you can put it towards new clothes. Yeah, so there's a lot of consigners nowadays and
Oh, that's
resellers
brilliant.
who resell clothes. And then a thing too that you said is the cost of it. But by holding on
Yeah.
to it, you're not really getting any money back from it. Like the cost, the money was gone when you bought it. Like when
Mm,
you bought the $100 sweater, the
mm,
$100 was already gone.
right.
So you kind
Mental
of have
shift.
to shift your thinking and you're not really
Yeah.
recouping. Like when you buy your vehicle, you don't usually recoup a huge cost from it. It's kind
True.
of so like sometimes I'll
Yeah.
say that to people if they're holding on to a lot of things and they're thinking, well, I can sell it. Well, I can. I'm like, well, the money's like that money's already gone. You spent that 10 years ago on that, whatever the item is. Like
Right.
we kind of like a
And I
moving
think
forward sort of feeling.
maybe we do perceive the value of our stuff a little too high sometimes. I always find the great humbler is having a garage sale.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah. That's so true.
and you're
Everyone's like
like
$1.
$10 and they're like 10 cents.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, okay. And at the end of it, you're just like, oh my gosh, just go. I don't want to bring any of this back in the house. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. So I'm at the phase of life, and I imagine some of our listeners are at the same phase of life where we're downsizing. Like when I moved, I had to right size. You go, and maybe everybody always is because you go through life changes, right? When my kids were little, I had to clear out that stuff. My kids are teenagers. Well, okay, there's a lot of change for that. Then they move out. Now there's
Yeah.
a lot left over from that. And then, so now I've got my mother and my in-laws. I mean, some of our listeners might know that one of the reasons I even started this podcast was because when I was downsizing my mom, I was making some videos and we got an extraordinary amount of money for her teak chairs, which went viral
That
on
was
TikTok and
crazy.
had 39 million views now, which is
That's insane.
isn't
That's
that something
insane.
else? Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And now here I am smiling because I think we've had 112 listeners on our podcast. Actually, I think it might be 130 now. But
Nice.
we'll get there. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's a slow burn. Social media is a slow burn.
It's
Yeah.
just fun. And honestly, I'm like, well, hopefully we made 130 people happier. They got a tip out of it. But I just can't believe how downsizing is just such a part of my life right now. My husband Warren's parents are moving. Now their house is, they have a house here in Kelowna and they have a house in Edmonton.
Right.
They don't want to take any of that stuff back to
No.
Edmonton. And they also actually have like a trailer in a retirement village in Phoenix, Arizona that they want to sell. That needs to all be emptied. So tell me, where do we begin when it comes to downsizing, right sizing? What are your strategies there?
Well, you start by calling me. No, I like how you say right sizing because that's a huge thing. Oftentimes people have a hard time. You just have to make come to terms with the space that your new size is. You're not going to be able to bring everything that you want to bring. So you want to
Yeah,
bring purposeful items. And another something you said was how you've been helping them downsize. Did you find it
true.
easier when you helped your mom and helping Warren's parents than when you were trying to decide what to downsize?
A
100 times easier.
hundredfold.
Yes,
It's crazy how fast I could work.
that's why
Yeah,
a professional organizer is great because it takes out even how you were
good
saying at the
point.
beginning, you were really overwhelmed when you first met me about figuring out like
Yeah,
logistically, like how am I going to do this move? Like how do
right.
I think it's just where like professional organizers are so beneficial because it's easy for me. You have emotional attachments to your house. It's where your daughters grew up. It's
Yeah,
you're thinking of a lot more things and you don't even realize it than just thinking of you just have to pack up the stuff from this house, pack it nice so it's stored, unpack it at the next house. But from an
yeah,
outside opinion. So I think like when you start with downsizing, even if you don't have the funds for a professional organizer, but having a family member, like how
right.
you helped your mom, like it would probably take your mom a year, 2 years to downsize herself. Whereas
Well,
you can
actually,
go
30 years. 30
30,
years. 30
30
years the
years.
basement has not been cleaned, but she doesn't even go down there anymore. So that's why I was like, okay, because we're thinking it's time to move into a retirement home.
Yeah.
Maybe if I can relieve the burden of knowing this basement has to be cleaned, taking care of that for her. So,
She'll
I
feel
mean,
better. Yeah, and a
yeah,
big thing too is like she's moving on to another phase. So lots of times when we think about people downsizing, we think of seniors, but it's
yeah,
not necessarily that. Like nowadays, it's lots of families who bought larger homes and now realize
right.
that that's too expensive, or they moved to a more expensive city. Like we were living up north and had a
Hmm.
huge home, but then moving back down to Kelowna, well, we were going to downsize. We're not going to be able to afford the same home as we could afford 10 hours north of
Right. Good
Kelowna.
point.
And then
Yeah.
also too, a lot of people are going and becoming sort of like digital nomads. I've downsized 2 people now and they're like, okay, like I'm doing it. Like I'm moving to wherever and I'm like, I got this opportunity and I'm going to kind of, but I don't know how much, like if I'm really going all the way or if I'm not.
Yeah.
So then it's another time where it's good to have like an outside opinion or somebody to help you with it because they could kind of,
Okay.
or they've done it before.
Okay, well, this leads you to my next project because I think we want to have you help with Warren's parents' house here because it's such a dilemma where it's like, well, they don't actually need any of the things at their other house is already full and
Yeah.
fully decorated and has everything. So what the heck, you know?
In those
Anyway,
cases, you can kind of start too with even if it is a house, like sometimes when people have passed, you can do estate sales where people just come through the house. If you kind of have to be ready to like deal with things on
yeah.
the spot there. But if you had a family member or somebody doing that for you,
Oh,
it can kind of
interesting.
be a way to help. And also too, it's good if there is some items that you've been holding on to for a while and you're not sure, you think, go and investigate those items, like let's say an old china set or an old chair, and you may find that they were worth a lot, or you may find that they're not worth a lot. And it kind of makes the bigger picture like kind of open up for you. It's like, you know what, if that
Yeah.
stuff wasn't worth as much and this stuff, like maybe it is just better to get rid of it.
Right. Sometimes I like to think of things in terms of, well, what did I pay for that? So I paid $2,000 for that, which sounds like a lot, but it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it cost me $100 a year to have this couch. That's not that bad.
Yeah, that's really not, but
So,
that's,
if I get
yeah.
$50 or $100 for it, well, good enough.
Yeah, it's
At
good
least
enough.
it's gone. And then I don't, because there's some real cost in actually moving it and
Mhm.
getting rid of things and, having
Even
taking care of
storing.
that too. It's not free to get rid of your stuff.
No, and
Yeah.
even storing stuff is quite expensive nowadays. Like small storage lockers are $300 to $400. I think just the
Yeah.
biggest thing with downsizing too is it's like everything in life, like knowing your why. Like, why am I doing this? And I always say to people, like, it's not what you're letting go of or getting
Okay,
rid of.
write
It's
that
what
down.
you're
I like that.
like, what are you gaining from this experience? Like, I say that quite often when I'm in people's homes. Like, it's not what you're letting go of, it's what you're gaining. Like, what are you getting from getting rid of this stuff? Like, you're going to be able, you're going to have more time freed up because you're not going to be cleaning and managing your house so much. You're going to be able to like live smaller and afford that vacation that you want to go on. Or if somebody is downsizing, like if a partner's passed and now they're moving into a senior living facility, it's nice to focus on like there's going to be more people around. Like it's going to be more of a
Aw,
community, like focus on the good things about the next step that you're moving to, and it'll really motivate you to, okay, I just got to get through this and then I'm on to that next step.
Oh, I love that. And not, it's a way to relieve that anchor, right? That
Yeah.
because it was good before doesn't mean it's good now. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean you still have to stay in that place because it used to be good.
Yeah. I find too that it's kind of like like not to be cheesy, but like the layers of an onion. Like you start with people and they're decluttering and they're like, okay, yeah. But then as it gets going, like if you can even just, I'll leave people homework assignments to try and cut the cost. Like they'll just book me for
I
one or two.
forgot that you did that with
Yeah.
me.
Or they'll book
Yeah.
me for just one or two sessions, and I know like, okay, we want to get through this in a way that we like don't waste all their resources. So even just getting people like off on the right foot, because once you start
Right.
getting rid of stuff, it kind of becomes like a natural high. You're like, oh my gosh, like the texts I get when I leave people's houses, it's always like all capitals, and it's a couple hours later and they're like still buzzing off getting rid of all that explicit. Like they're like always like, and I like show my husband, I'm like, another happy client. Like they're just like, this is, when do you come back? Like what else can we get rid of? Like,
Let's keep it going.
yeah,
And then I find you want to spread the good news and
the good news. Yeah.
help your friends. Like my sweet friend Helen's been complaining about her garage for a long time. And I'm like, you gotta call Cait. She'll
Yeah, let's
get
do
you
it.
going. Like, yeah, I like just getting that momentum, right? You can just
Yeah.
thrive off the momentum. It's true. It's true. And I think also like just the time you save not looking for stuff because
Not looking for
everything,
stuff.
yeah, will have a
Looking
place. And
looking for things, trying to find things, trying
yeah,
to, it just to stream, you're just streamlining your life. And I shouldn't say so much like getting rid of stuff, but more just like
yeah,
organizing it. Like I have some clients where we come in and they're like, I don't want to get rid of anything. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Like I get it. Or you're doing like a studio or something or like a store and they're like, we can't get rid
yeah,
of anything. Like this is all like we need to sell all of this. So even just getting
right.
it organized so you know what you have. And then sometimes getting it organized, you can look and be like, okay, I got 6 mixing bowls. Like when you see it all together, it's a lot easier to pare down. And a professional organizer, that's like what I do with my clients, is I always group all the like things together. And I'm like, okay, we got 6 patio umbrellas. Like we got 2 patios on the house. Say we take one to the beach. And I'm kind of funny too, so it goes well. Like we take one to the beach. Our sister needs one. We still have 2 extras. We're still at 6 umbrellas for a 2 patio house. Thoughts? And then they're like, okay, that makes sense now. Then if you go around
Right.
the house and you find each umbrella, not that you're storing patio
Yeah.
umbrellas in your house, but you get what I
Yeah.
mean.
Oh, I
And you look
totally
at each,
do.
yeah,
And I think
and you
there's an
look at each one.
education process about your own buying habits too, because when you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, I buy too many mixing bowls. I know I buy too many charcuterie boards.
Yeah, that's me. I serving platters, and I don't really enjoy entertaining. I don't like having guests over, and I have like all these beautiful serving trays for one day when I like start enjoying entertaining. And
You
then I
know
had to
what?
be like, why am I storing these when we downsized? I'm like, you don't even like having people over,
You
Kate.
know what else I love tote bags. For some reason, I'll go into a store and if they have tote bags, I'm like, ooh, oh, look at all the
I need one.
pockets, look at all the whatever, look at the, and I'll put it in with all my other tote bags
All the
that
other
for some
tote
reason I
bags.
don't really like all those little tote bags, but
Yeah,
gosh, I love to buy a tote bag. I don't
it
know
is.
what.
It's that. It's fun. Everybody has their thing that they
Yeah,
enjoy, but it's true.
yeah,
When you see it all together, then it's easier to make a decision on it and be like, oh, okay.
right.
And how you said
Yeah,
the spending habits, I find it's huge in people's pantries. Like when I do families' pantries and I'll
yeah,
take out all the expired items and stuff, and they really notice, they're like, okay, like we got to stop buying pasta from Costco. Like it can help today, especially with how like expensive grocery prices are.
yeah,
I've done a couple people's pantries and they've texted me after and been like, this is such a good setup that you did in here. Cause now I look and I'm not like overbuying or over shopping. I look and I'm like, okay, we only have one pasta sauce left. I only need to go buy one more or whatever the item is instead of just
yeah,
opening your pantry, not knowing what's in there. Go buy all your groceries for the week. Well, you already have that, or you had one expired, or you didn't need
right.
another. It just
Or
kind of
you
like,
know that you have this tendency to overbuy pasta and
yeah,
be
that
like, well, I'm not going to buy the pasta today because I
there's already 10.
obviously overbuy the pasta. So, I mean, that's an interesting thing to think about reducing the stuff you have and will help you save money.
Yeah, it really does help you save money. And then you can find things. Like it's actually funny. We're redoing our garage. So I have all the totes piled up right now and I can't get to them easily. We're getting like a tote storage thing put in.
Yeah.
And I caught myself, and it's St. Patrick's Day, and she has to go to school, my daughter, and wear something green. And I know I have, and I know what tote they're in, but it was piled 8 high, and my husband was out. Like, there was a lot going on that week. I was organizing a bunch, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just go down and get her a little green bow thing to wear to school. But I thought, I'm like, this is a perfect case, like in my head. I'm like, where if you couldn't find it, you would just go buy another. Like, I knew
True.
where mine was, but I couldn't get to it. But you're just
Yeah.
overbuying these items, like
Just for
every
convenience.
just for convenience, because but you don't really.
Yeah.
And but then there's another school of thought too that I heard recently, and it's, if you have the means, like if you're a person who's in a comfortable financial position, if it's something under $10 or $20, whatever the limit is to you, if it's under $20 and you can go buy it in, or under, yeah, under $20 and you can buy it in less than 10 minutes, you don't really need to own one in your home. Like gift bags and stuff. Like if you live in a close to a store, a dollar
Yes.
store nowadays, because they're everywhere.
Right.
But if it's
Yeah.
something that's less than $20 and you, yeah, and you can go buy another one in say 10 minutes, do you need to have a tote
Inventory it.
of 50 gift bags in your house? Maybe one,
Oh my gosh. That
right?
is what I love, that rule of
Yeah.
thumb. Like, that is such a great rule of thumb. And then it doesn't make you feel so bad too when you release those items back so
Yeah.
somebody else can use them and some charitable thing or whatever. And then you don't just have this accumulation of
Accumulation.
little things.
And
That's so
nowadays, yeah,
good.
so much little stuff. And nowadays, how
Yeah.
we are too, and if you are, it like obviously depends on your financial situation. But if
Yeah.
you are in like a comfortable situation, when the little kid's birthday that comes up, you don't want to use the gift bag. You know what I mean? You're gonna go
Yeah.
get a gift bag. She loves Paw
I need a
Patrol. Well,
child one, not
yeah, I gotta go
a
get a Paw
wine bag.
Patrol one. You're not even using the ones that you
Oh
saved.
my gosh,
You're like,
it's
oh, I
so
need a wine
true.
bag with a funny message. It's my best
Yeah.
girlfriend. Or so you're going
Right.
to
Or
buy
the thing is shaped like this and your bag
yeah,
is like this. And yeah,
yes, you're
no,
buying
you're right.
specific
What are the chances that you actually inventory as much as
inventory. Same.
Dollarama has?
Yeah.
And
So I
yeah,
always think it's good, like depending if it is, you kind of have to look at each individual situation. So is it
right.
beneficial for the person to have, yeah, like just a little tote with a couple gift bags ready to go when they need? That's what I have personally, because
Yeah.
I'm not going and running out and buying it right away when I need it, just because I don't like, it's just me here with my daughter. Like we ain't running out and going and doing errands unless,
Yeah.
but if you're an empty nester and you're sitting at home and you're getting a gift together for your granddaughter, like you may have a lot more time that
Yes.
it's, and you're going to go wrap that gift beautifully for her
And you want
anyways,
it to look
and you
nice.
want it to look
Yeah.
nice. So it kind of goes with
Yeah.
like the stage of life you're in too, your financial situation, but there's
Yeah.
all these like different ways we can approach it and do it like individually for the person is how I like to do it. I
That's a
like,
good idea. You know what
yeah,
I love to do is when I do sell something on Marketplace or I do sell something, I put it in another bank account and I call it my
smart.
little bonus money. And then when there's something else I would really enjoy or want or feel guilty to buy, I use the bonus money. And
Here's
then
your
I'm
bonus
like,
money.
oh,
I love that.
there you go. I translated some stuff that I wasn't bringing me joy to something that does bring me joy,
That does bring you joy.
which
I love
sadly is
that.
probably more shoes, but
Yeah, just more shoes. I'm going to adopt that though. I'm going to use that with clients. Like if we're selling stuff from your house, why don't you keep that? And then you guys go out for a nice dinner and celebrate downsizing and buying a new house or go. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
really good
buy
idea.
something fresh that will look great that you'll enjoy for your house. Some fresh flowers or something. I love doing little bonus things where I wouldn't normally treat myself, and then it
Yeah.
feels like a free treat
Yeah. It feels
because I
like free
used.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
Cait,
funny.
you're just full of such great ideas. And the other day I was following you on Instagram and I saw you released a book, and
Yes.
you
Yes.
fill me in on the book because this is so wonderful.
Thank you. It's an ebook and it's over 50 pages because I wanted to put a lot of information in there and it kind
Wow.
of touches on all subjects. Like I made it one really interesting thing in there is I included what I bring in my toolkit to each job because I really think that home organizing it's been such a great business for me as a mom and
Yeah.
this ebook is also good if you're interested in starting your own home organizing. Like there's lots of tips and tricks in there. And at the very beginning, I put how I organize each room so quickly, like my kind of little steps that I do. And it's just, yeah, I touched on lots of areas. There's checklists in there for birthday parties for moms, because at every birthday
Ooh,
party, everyone forgets the same 2 items. So I put that on the checklist.
okay.
And it covers not all the areas of the home, but most of them. I did the bedroom, the pantry, the garage. There's ways to get your kids motivated. There's ways to motivate yourself in there. There's morning routines and nighttime routines. I just really wanted to find a way to bring organizing to people in an affordable way too. Not having to pay for a professional organizer, or if you just want to get kickstarted in the right direction or kind of do it yourself, then this is a
Yeah.
way that you can start your own organizing journey. So yeah.
So how do people get the book?
It's available on my website at clearthechaos.ca, and you'll see a button on there and it says organize yourself. So you just click on there and then it'll bring you to where you can buy the book. And right now you purchase it through PayPal. But
Okay.
if you don't have PayPal, or if there's any reason or that you can't setting up your PayPal, you
Yeah.
can just contact me through Instagram and I can send it to you directly.
Nice. And
Yeah.
what's your Instagram handle again?
It's at Clear the Chaos Organizing.
At
And
Clear the
I can be
Chaos.
reached through email at consults@clearthechaos.ca. So if you get in
Okay.
contact with me for organizing or for the ebook, or I even offer free in-person consults, because sometimes people just need a bit of a sounding board, or to see where to get started, or to just kind of see the vibe too of if they want to work with a
Right.
professional organizer, because it is kind of a newer,
Yeah.
not new industry, but newer industry.
Well, I think that's a great thing that you do that as a business lady myself. I think you are your best salesperson, because
Yeah.
when they see your energy, they'll know she's going to get it
Just
done.
right.
And sometimes it just seems like such a long road from here to there, and then you see somebody who can come in and help you do it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, this could actually really happen.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when I downsized Mom's basement, at the end of it, as a horrendous job as that was, at the end of it, it was like, wow, we really did that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I feel like doing it while my mom is still around was a heck of a lot easier than it will be downsizing after. Which, by the way, I don't know if my family is listening. I'm out for. They can do it.
Pam's done her part, so
I've
somebody
done
else.
my part. So
She
I'm
does
good.
not wish to be an executor
Good
on
luck
anything.
to y'all. Yeah, exactly.
She's put in her time and then some.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I will get in touch with you, talk about Warren's parents' place. And Cait, that was fantastic. I try to
Yes.
keep these podcasts to about 20 minutes. We're already almost at
Perfect.
a half an hour here. And I loved it. I love
Yeah, there's
you. I
lots
think
of
you're
fun.
fantastic. I'm a huge fan, and I love watching your career just soar. And I thank you for the things that you've done for us already. And thank you for being on the podcast. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. It was so fun working with you guys. And this was a hoot too. I love it.
Yeah, this was good. We'll
Yeah,
have
this
you
was great.
back. We'll have
Yeah,
you
have
back.
me back. I want to do more.
I'm curious to see how the ebook goes. And also, when someone downloads your ebook, how do they read it? Like, what form does it come in?
It's just like a PDF.
Okay.
So then,
cool.
yeah, and then they have it and they can go back and reference it and look through it. And
All right. Well,
yeah.
everybody, that was Cait from Clear the Chaos Organizing, and our first real guest on a Talk with Mom.
Thanks for having me, Pam.
I can't wait to have more fabulous moms like yourself. And everybody, go. This is your call. Go get organized.
Yeah,
Cait's giving you the hints, and if not, message Cait. She'll help you out.
Call me.
Call her. All right. Thanks, Cait.
No problem, Pam. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
We did good, right? We did so good.